let me say one last thing about HEI, and that is the spark plug wires. I've touched on this in another video, but it's worth repeating. Every once in a while, you'll see somebody claim that if you're going to run HEI, you have to run spark plug wires like these. These are MSD spiral wound 8.5mm plug wires. And they are extremely good plug wires. I'll tell you why I do recommend them. But if you want to run wires that are like the bougie cords or the Bosches, these are what I call fibrous carbon plug wires. And this is what a bougie cord or a Bosch will look like on the interior. You've got this string material, and then wrapped around that is like a plasticky feeling substance. I don't know what it is. It's obviously electrically conductive, but it's not wire. It's some sort of a synthetic substance. And these wires are about 500 ohms a foot. But at the voltages we're talking about, they would be perfectly fine. I mean, you've got 5,000 ohms just inside your rotor button, unless you've modified it. And you've got 4,000 ohms inside your spark plug. So just between the rotor button and the spark plug, you got 9,000 ohms of resistance. So an extra 500 to 1,000 isn't really going to make that big of a difference. Now, these MSD plug wires are 50 ohms a foot. And the reason is they are wound with honest-to-God copper wire. Okay, see, the center conductor is real wire, not that synthetic plasticky stuff. So these plug wires are extremely durable. These fibrous carbon plug wires, if you put like a sharp bend on them, which unfortunately K-jutters do up underneath their fuel distributor, coming off the ignition distributor, they'll have a bend like that. And these fibrous carbon plug wires can and will break internally. And when that happens, like, you can put a timing light on the plug wire down by the spark plug and it doesn't flash. But as you move the inductive pickup along the wire, you'll eventually reach a point where it does start to flash. And that is where the internal break in the wire is. Well, these MSDs are much less likely to break internally because they have an honest-to-God wire center conductor. So they're much more durable than the fibrous carbon wires. The lower resistance is just icing on the cake. And let me say one last thing. People see that size marking, that 8.5mm, and they think it says something about the center conductor. It doesn't tell you anything about the center conductor. It tells you how wide the insulation jacket is, and what's the diameter of the insulation jacket. So these plug wires have an 8.5mm diameter plug jacket. This fibrous carbon wire has an 8mm insulation jacket. You can also see how much thinner the outer silicone sheath is. It's much thinner than the MSD outer sheath. So these MSD plug wires are frightfully expensive. They used to be about $100 for a make-your-own set. You have to make your own because they don't make ready-mades that have PRV ends on them. So I made these myself. But I believe they're currently running somewhere around $150, maybe $160. I mean, inflation is just insane. But you only spend that money one time. These are lifetime plug wires. You will never replace them. They will outlive you. So if you see somebody claim that you have to run MSD plug wires or some equivalent, something with an honest to God spiral wound center conductor, it is incorrect that you have to, but I do recommend it.